You're listening to the Begin Within Health Show with Nate Slager. For more, go to beginwithin.fit/podcast, or to enroll right now in our flagship coaching program, go to beginwithin.fit/coaching. Hey, welcome back. I'm so glad you came back to join me here on the Begin Within Health Show. We've got a really cool interview for you today. And before we jump in, I'll give you a little background for myself personally on this topic. Something that really resonated for me took me back to the fact that Amanda and I live in the woods. I've probably told you that a couple of years ago. We made a move and we're in the country. It's definitely the farthest away from civilization that we have ever been in our 17 years of marriage. So we're in the woods, and I'll tell you what, one of the things that we hate the most, I know that's a little bit negative to start our episode today. One of the things we hate the most is not the fact that we have ticks most of the year. I'm talking about ticks, those little bugs. I guess they are technically arachnids, but you know how, I don't know if you've ever dealt with them, if you've ever found one somewhere on you. Man, they're gross. They are so gross, and they carry so many diseases. I mean, we've talked about it here on the show before. Incidentally, one of our most played episodes is our episode that was all about Lyme disease. Because of that, I think because of the prevalence of ticks in Wisconsin, where I'm from, and I hope that you are listening. If you're listening from somewhere else in the world, I hope that ticks are not part of your life, but maybe you do have some other creepy crawlies that drive you nuts. Well, I'll tell you what, it's not the ticks that are the worst part of living in the woods. Honestly, as bad as that is. And it's not the fact that we can't get a pizza delivered to our front door. I mean, that is such a special thing, right? And even though we talk a lot about health and nutrition once in a while, pizza is on my plate, and I enjoy it when it happens, but it's just not something that's a regular part of my life. But I'll tell you what, sometimes you want to just make a call and have a pizza show up, right? I can't do that. I can't even do that. Which, again, that might be a kind of a health and fitness blessing in disguise. You know what I mean? That we have to put a little more effort in if we want to get a pizza into the house. But it's not the ticks. It's not the fact that we can't get a pizza. The thing that we talk about it all the time. It's the thing that we dislike the most about living in the woods is that we can't see the sunrise or the sunset. And so we cherish more than ever the time that we're away from home and the sun is rising, which of course maybe that rarely happens, that we're away from home and we see the sunrise, but more the sunset. We're on the road driving. We just absolutely love it. We miss it. It was always just such a cherished part of our day. More so when we could see the sunrise from the living room windows. We just loved it, to pause every day and just soak in those moments and enjoy the beauty, have a feeling of awe at the beauty of those moments. And of course, the sunrise, that was awesome because I think for us, it was always early in the day before things, got busier. We just really cherished it. And now we just don't have it. We're surrounded by trees. So we can't see the horizon for the sunrise and the sunset. So I hope that you are able to. And my big rant here is coming. It's leading in to our interview for this week. My interview is with just a really cool guy, John Graham Harper. I enjoy my conversation with him. He is a certified master trainer. He's a speaker. He's a fitness professional with 15 years of extensive fitness industry experience, gym management. So, kind of a similar background to me, but the difference is he doesn't have a fitness company that he is excited about currently promoting the way that I do. What he has is a company called LumaFlex, and he's going to talk all about it today. They specialize in making red light therapy convenient and available for everyone. That's what they're working on. And that brings me back to the sunrise and the sunset. We're going to talk about that in the interview. But what I realized is the reason I miss it might have more to do with science-backed health benefits that come to us from that special time or those special times of day, more than just the fact that it was something pretty to look at. And I learned that from my interview with John Graham Harper. So enough from me. I hope you enjoy this interview. Here it is. Here's John Graham Harper and our conversation about red light therapy.
So LumaFlex is a red light therapy company, and we're 6 months launched. We're about 2.5 years in development. And the goal of LumaFlex is to mainstream red light therapy. Red light therapy obviously has been around since the beginning of time, right? It's as old as the sun. And it's very prominent in beauty. It's used in hospitals, right? To cure skin wounds and whatnot. But where it's becoming a lot more prominent now is in the sports space, right? With athletes and a lot of affluent athletes that, that are famous, right? They're pros. They use red light therapy. They have saunas, they have tanning beds, but they're not so accessible. So what my goal with LumaFlex is to make red light therapy very, very accessible. Have a device that's in your bag and you can use it on the go, right? Anytime, anywhere. So that's what sort of in short, what LumaFlex is all about. It's about mainstreaming red light therapy. Just like you need, clean water every day, you need healthy food, you need regular exercise, you need good sleep. I believe red light therapy is something you should be having every single day. But when you have a device that's very large, or you have to drive to a clinic, park your car, get out, pay a fee, you're not really you're not benefiting fully for what red light therapy can do for your life and for your overall well-being. Where red light therapy shows the greatest feedback is with consistent use, right? Like if you tell someone to eat healthy food and they eat healthy food twice a week, they're not really, they're not really maximizing what they can do for their health, right? Same with red light therapy. That's the goal of the company.
Okay. Awesome. Nice. Could we unpack a little bit of the science or what's happening with red light therapy? Why does it work? What is it really helping people to achieve?
So we
can just see the value of it. Yeah.
Yeah. The simplest way to explain what red light therapy is red light therapy is available to us when the sun rises and the sun sets. When you see the beautiful sunrise, you see that, dark orange, red color of the sun coming up, and the same with the sunset, the golden hour time. That is when the light is at the right wavelength to penetrate your skin and activate the mitochondria. The mitochondria is the powerhouse cell. We're made up of cells, and our mitochondria kind of governs our health as a human being. So if you're giving energy to the mitochondria, which is what light therapy does, the cell can do its job. So whether that be healing or, energy production or, blood circulation, and healing, of course, and pain relief and pain management is actually sort of where I like to focus a lot of attention about what the red light therapy can do. Red light therapy clinically, has shown that it can boost testosterone, it can grow hair, it can help you sleep better, it can de-stress you. Like I said, for skin, it naturally produces collagen in your skin. So it's used in beauty. People, there are these face masks I'm sure you've seen all over TikTok where the ladies are getting these light therapy masks. It naturally produces collagen in your skin, right? So it makes you look younger. So there's an anti-aging element to it. But where I see red light therapy really changing the world is with pain management, right? Is giving your mitochondria energy, excess energy, to be able to heal and heal pain. Like we're talking, serious chronic pain, arthritis, sciatica. A good friend of mine who was in the military, actually just recently, he was telling me that because he has one of my units and he's been using it, but he was a sniper and he was under a tank and the gun of the tank fell on his back when he was under the tank cleaning the tank. So he's had a very, very bad back and he's had this sciatica issue for a long time. And this is something where I was like, this is what red light therapy has proven to help. It can help you find relief from a serious issue like this. And that's, that. So when I communicate red light therapy, I usually talk a lot about pain management. There are a lot of other devices out there that can help you with all the other wonderful benefits that red light therapy can do. But where I really focus my energy in communicating what what our brand, what LumaFlex can do is pain management, right? So people
Yes.
that, are in their 70s and they still want to hit golf balls, right? But they've got that nasty back like my dad, it was always his neck. And my mom, it was always her knees, right? And she's had these issues her whole life. And I know a lot of our friends and family, our grandparents, they have these issues. And it almost seems like they feel like, that's their life. They've sort of accepted it and they're just like, oh, that's, I have this issue. I gotta deal with it. But, and obviously there's medication that people usually run to, right? They use, big pharma, promising to be able to cure your pain with just a simple drug is something that is very evasive. And why choose an evasive, almost destructive means of treatment without first trying something that's natural, right? Something that was, given to us since the beginning of time, right? We would wake up when the sun rises and we'd go to sleep when the sun set. That was our circadian rhythm. That was in our, that's our biology. That's how we were designed, right? That was how all our lives were, were made up. And this is now accessible to us in a panel, in a device where you can have this access to this treatment anytime you want. So that's kind of the most simplest way that I try to, picture it. I always try to focus more on the pain aspect because I feel like that's where it can do the most good for the world. But of course, if you go down into the rabbit hole of red light therapy, there's a lot of other benefits that it can do, right? It's pretty exciting. It's a fun industry to be in. And yeah, I love it.
Sounds
I'm excited for
exciting.
what.
Yeah, no, so I'm understanding better for the first time. So red light therapy, tell me if I got this right. It's stimulating the mitochondria to do their job as the powerhouse of the cell. So
Yeah, it's giving your
essentially,
mitochondria energy, right? It's
okay,
giving your cells energy to work for them to do their job. Exactly.
got it. So then any cells that we're kind of pointing the light at are going to do their job better. So if it's the cells on our scalp, they're going to do their job better. If it's the
For
cells
helping your hair grow.
around
Yes.
my elbow, if I have some tennis elbow, it's going to help them to recover and act the way they're supposed to when they're acting efficiently. So do I have that right?
Exactly right. Yeah,
Okay.
there's obviously a lot of, a much more prettier sort of scientific way of explaining it, but that is what it is, right? It's the red light therapy doesn't actually heal you. It gives your cells energy to heal themselves. That's
Mm.
kind of that's where a lot of people kind of get confused, right? They see red light therapy and they think, oh, it's, this is pseudoscience, or this is something that like, all the biohackers that are all wacky and the hippies, they're all into this. This is something that, I can't really trust, but it is it's an old treatment, right? It was used back in the early, days of the Greeks, right? NASA scientists are using red light therapy to grow plants. And they realized that so the red light therapy was actually healing their skin from abrasions. And that's kind of how red light therapy started to get studied more and more and more. And it was for wound healing, right? It was used in like most credible hospitals. If you are in a serious car accident, you've had a nasty fall, you're full of cuts, you will be prescribed some form of red light therapy. And a lot of devices are out there that help you, with eyes, with oral hygiene, right? With your ears, that all have a red light therapy element to it. So
Huh.
it's been around for a long, long time. It's only now that we see it getting a lot more traction, that a lot more interest, and people are starting to take note of it. And it's good because, again, it is a natural, non-invasive means of treatment, right? And yes, there is a little bit of a backlash to this with pharma. Then this is something that, isn't necessarily encouraged by by those big companies, but it's great that, the optimizers and the biohackers of the world, the Andrew Hubermans, the Ben Greenfield, these guys that they devote their lives to study natural means of treatment. They are fully endorsing red light therapy, and they're making it more prominent. And that's now the wheels are turning, and we're starting to see a lot more interest, and the use of it is becoming more readily accessible, right? It's becoming more relatable. People are accepting it more. It's not so much of a new sort of pseudoscience thing anymore. And that's
Yeah.
what I'm hoping, at least in the near future, we're going to see like a big wave of interest in red light therapy. And it's going to be great. The world will change. It'll be something that right now is a big dream for me, not just for
Mm.
me, but my whole team.
Yeah. No, that's awesome. Yeah. I would agree, and it's just my feed. I realize that, but I got all kinds of red light therapy athletes using it, that are popping up. Probably LumaFlex is even one of the advertisements I'm getting. And so
I hope so.
I'm kind of like the first time just in recent, my recent history this last year or so that I'm like, hey, there's something to this. And I think, even to your point, if you and I connected maybe 3 years ago, I would have been like, I don't think so. But now I'm like, I gotta have this. I want John Graham Harper on this podcast. This is legit.
Yeah.
This is awesome.
Great.
So
It's great.
what?
Tides are turning.
Yeah, I'm curious now. So as you're talking, I'm excited. Is there any known, I guess, like side effects, any negative side to red light therapy that's been discovered as of now?
No, as of now, there's no known negative side effects. Legally, we can't say certain things like use it during pregnancy. We're not allowed to say that. We're not allowed to say, look at the panel, look at the LEDs.
Mm,
We're not allowed to say that, but eye doctors use red light therapy to cure eye diseases. Like
mm.
it's just there is certain things we can't say just to keep, just because of the way things work in America with medical law. But yeah, there's no known side effects to date. It's something that really I wish people would scream more about it, because it's something that is completely natural, right? It's non-invasive. You're not going to have any side effects. Why not try this means of treatment for a range of different human conditions before, going to invasive and mostly destructive means of treatment?
Yeah, things that have known side effects, right? And a whole list of them generally are your alternatives. So why not? I'm curious now. Maybe I'm jumping to a conclusion, but I have to imagine that you have access to as much red light therapy as you would want.
Yeah, yes, absolutely.
How
I
I'm
should be glowing.
Yeah. Well, I'm curious to know, like, how personally, if you don't mind, like, how often are you using it? Like, what applications have you found have benefited you, and what have been some of the results? Just, I know it's kind of anecdotal, but I'm just
Yeah.
curious as someone, because I'm like, oh, should I do it? Should I invest in it? And I'm like, you have access probably to as much as you would want. How's it going for?
Yeah. So obviously the panel that I use my own ones, and I'll tell you my LumaFlex story, sort of how I got into red light therapy, because
Yeah.
I was heavily into fitness. I opened up quite a number of gyms. I had a supplement company. I got into fitness tech. I was very much deep into the fitness entrepreneurial space, but I was also very competitive. So as a young athlete, I was into rugby, and I blew out both my shoulders and I couldn't play rugby anymore. Then from there, I got into CrossFit. And when I was into CrossFit, that was sort of when it was, starting to become a trendy thing. And, it was like, 100 kg squats for time, like these really hard, intense workouts that, and I wasn't really, to be honest, I wasn't, properly taking care of myself in terms of recovery, warm-ups and stuff like that. I was just a very aggressive sort of competitive athlete. And my left knee got very, very much damaged. And from there, I went into boxing. I went to amateur boxing, and I got hit in the head a few times, as one does when they're boxing. And I developed a tumor in my head. And the doctor told me that it was because I was getting hits to my nose that kind of, created trauma. So I had to have that removed. And I was like, okay, what am I going to do now? I'll get into bodybuilding. So I did a season of bodybuilding, which I thought was quite fun. I got bored of that quite quickly. But I got, just, I'm trying in just being a competitive person, and obviously a lot of injuries followed. But the left knee, that was a very, very tough injury to deal with mentally and emotionally, because I wasn't able to really walk at times. Like, it was tough to heal. I couldn't really work out. And it was very, very painful. I was like being in a seated position for longer than 10, 15 minutes. The knee would actually really start to hurt. And I would have to like get deep heat cream, and I would have to rub my knee and try to get, the blood circulating into the knee, because it would just hurt so much, especially like, and my mother obviously had bad knees as well. So I sort of feel like I had that like arthritis gene,
Mm.
because when it would get cold, obviously my knee would fire up. It would really, really be painful. And my wife, who's Chinese, she was telling me I should get into red light therapy. And she's like, oh, try this lamp. And it was this big, ugly, cumbersome looking lamp. It looked really ugly. It was a very heavy thing that I would have to drag around. It had a large weight at the bottom to keep it standing. And the bulb, the red bulb was very, very large. And when it was on, it would heat up extremely hot. But she was saying like 20 minutes every day at night, I want you to put your knee here and it'll heal. And, I was like, okay, just, some feng shui medicine, I'll do it just to keep her happy. But I remember like I would sort of play this dancing game, because the bulb would be so hot, but the knee, I would try to move it close to the bulb to get the treatment. But then I'd be like, it's too hot. And I would have to move it away, let the knee cool down, then move it back up and down, up and down. And I sort of thought like I thought the heat was the element that was healing it. But then after a week, the pain started to go away. And the way I realized the pain was gone was in that seated position that normally was very, very tough for me. Taking a cab or an airplane was always such a struggle, because I would have to get up and I have to, relax the knee, stretch it out, lubricate the joint. But that pain wouldn't come when I was in that seated position. So after a week, I didn't have any pain. And after 2 weeks, I actually stopped using the thing. And it kind of triggered a bit of interest into what red light therapy was all about, and something that my wife was quite well versed in. She was, something that she was very familiar with, because she used these masks, right? She would use it for beauty and skincare. And that kind of like led to one thing, and kind of, the journey began of red light therapy. But the panel that I use right now, with the LumaFlex of what I use. So every morning when I wake up, I'll do a treatment. Let's call it a treatment. For me, it doesn't really feel like a treatment. I've done it for so long every single day that as I'm doing my morning thing, like whether it be like I wake up and I do a little stretch, or, I answer some emails, or, I make a phone call, I'm getting the treatment in with the unit as I'm doing it. Right. So I'll put the panel on my forehead, or I'll have it on my forehead. I'll just turn it on. I'll give you a look out. So this is you can see the panel.
Wow.
Quite a
It is
large
wireless, right?
Yeah. And there's in the LumaFlex, you have these straps, right? So I would literally strap it to my head like
Okay.
this. I know it's ridiculous, but it's having red light therapy on your brain. It helps cognitive energy and focus. It kind of gets you pumped up for the day.
Mm-hmm.
So I would do it for my forehead. And I don't know if you can't really see, but I'm thinning, bro. I'm thinning. I'm losing a bit of hair. So next spot, I go to my head, right? Then I go to the back of my neck for my spine. I go to the front of my neck, and then I do my gut as well, because the brain and the gut, they're connected through the vagus vein. And a lot of the issues that we have here, whether they be, anxiety, or we're stressed, or right, we've got headaches or whatever it is, actually a lot of it can be fixed with the gut, right? If we fix what's down here, surprisingly, there's a lot of magic happens up in the brain. So that's kind of just how I start my day. And the built-in timer in the LumaFlex panel. So it turns on for 10 minutes, and then it'll automatically turn off, and I'll switch the location. That's just and then I'll do if I'm in the office, I'll do it on my chest. I call it the Iron Man. I like wedge it in my shirt. Okay. So that kind of like, I'll wedge it there, and I'll just be sort of firing off emails. And then I'll do the back of my neck again. And then probably the most important time that I do it is after I work out, right? Because again, it helps with the recovery. If you're doing an intense workout, like for me, I still like to box. I still like to get in and hit the bag and do some sparring. I do, after a session of red light therapy, post workout, you won't get that soreness that you usually get the next day, or the following day.
Yeah.
But yeah, I do like 3 to 4 times full body sessions every single day. And yeah, I take the thing with me everywhere I go. The joke in the company is like, I should be glowing. I should actually have like a red glow wherever I go, because I'm always on it, coming, because it's light, right? There's no side effects. I don't have any,
Yeah.
you can't really overdose on it. You can't ever have too much. So I'm just like, yeah, I'll just keep doing it until I feel good, right? Oh,
Nice.
and very, very importantly, when you do get onto the red light therapy train, right, and you've got your device and you're using it, after about 2 weeks of consistent use, your cells, you as a human being, your overall well-being, you as a human, you're extremely happy, right? Like, your biology is happy, and you will have an addiction to it. I don't know how else to explain it, but if you have a day where you don't have your red light therapy, after about 2 weeks, you feel it. You're
Mm.
like, oh, I need my boost. It's hard to describe it. You sort of have to do it for 2 weeks, and you kind of understand what I'm saying. But yeah, that's my personal experience. And most of the people around me that have used the LumaFlex, have bought it or endorse it or support it or are partners with us, they all say the same thing. So yeah, that's kind of, what red light therapy has to offer for all you listeners.
Yeah. Oh, wow. That's awesome. Thank you for sharing that. I'm curious now, the little light, are those like little LED
Yep, these are
bulbs?
LED. The tools in LED. Yep,
Okay.
5
And
LEDs in the panel.
yeah, and I'm just straight up being curious now. How long, like, does the bulb last typically? Each
So
of
the
these?
battery, if you charge it for 2 hours, it'll last about an hour and 10 minutes.
Okay.
So usually I use it throughout the day, charge overnight, use it throughout the day, charge overnight. I just have this keep
Mhm.
going and keep going. This one that I'm showing you right now, this one's called the LumaFlex Essential. So this is the one that I'm pushing into retail. Again, making red light therapy mainstream is sort of my overall, goal for impacting the world. Sounds, yeah, it's a big mountain to climb, but yeah, a man can dream, right? But
Yeah.
yeah, we're looking to put this into Walmart, fingers
Wow.
crossed. But this be the retail one. The other product that we've got is the Body Pro. And the Body Pro is actually can be Bluetooth connected to your Apple Watch, and you can actually sync the panel to your heart rate, so it'll pulsate with your heart. So people the biohackers, they love this for meditation. People with heart conditions, they like it because obviously it can really support with heart issues. And also the Body Pro is fully waterproof. So you can go, it's not water resistance, it's fully waterproof. You can go underwater with it. And what's sort of a trend right now in recovery and healing, sort of testosterone boosting and optimization, is ice baths.
Yeah.
So, there's a lot of studies coming out now showing that when you combine red light therapy with ice baths, that's kind of like the winning formula for recovery and well-being. So that's why the device is waterproof. It's something that you can, in your ice bath, you can sit with it and hold it and put it on those key areas I mentioned. And yeah, there's the Body Pro and the Essential. So far, 2 products, but yeah, next year I'm looking to launch a very, very large product, the big project. But yeah, maybe February, I'll have like a sneak peek out there, but it'll be the world's most advanced, most innovative, there's be more tech and input into this device than any other product that's ever launched on the market so far. Yeah,
Wow.
it's exciting.
Yeah, I can tell. I mean, I'm getting excited. You're excited. That's cool. That is very cool. I appreciate you sharing that all with us. What is the best way for someone to get in touch with you, check out the products, and move forward if it's something that they wanna check out?
Yeah, so it's www.lumaflex.com. But yeah, and if you want to hit me up on Instagram, I'm probably mostly active on Instagram with
Mm.
John Graham Fitness. And yeah, any questions, anytime. I've got a great resource of neuroscientists and doctors that are all very, very prominent in red light therapy. And I'm in that network. So like, the latest and greatest studies that are coming out and all the innovation that is in the amazing industry of light therapy, not just red and infrared, but all light therapy. Yeah, I'll constantly be sharing it and making sure the word gets out. It's an exciting time, especially for all of us that are very, very supportive of this treatment. Obviously, building a brand, running a business, especially launching, in the US markets, it's a grind.
Yeah.
It's a grind. But yeah, we're ambitious, and obviously any opportunity that we have to be able to get the word out is hugely, hugely, appreciated. So thank you for letting me share my story, share the brand, share my vision, and yeah, I hope everybody at least takes a look into red light therapy. Obviously, everyone research as much as you want. YouTube is a great resource. You can see, a lot of endorsements from very, very credible doctors, and take it from there. Make your decision.
Nice. Awesome. Thank you, John Graham Harper, for being here. We appreciate it.
Thank you. Absolutely. Yeah, a deep, sincere thank you for giving me the opportunity to share.
All right. I want to thank John Graham Harper once more for being here on the show with us. Of course, the link that he mentioned, lumaflex.com, LUMAFLEX, lumaflex.com, is waiting for you in the show notes if you want to check out the products that John and his team have developed and have made available. Such a cool conversation. I hope you learned a lot from it because I know that I sure did. Man, such a cool one. It got me so excited. And again, it got me thinking about what I started the episode out with, and that is sunrises, sunsets. Right now, researchers are they're absolutely convinced. Science is showing that red light can be used in all these different therapeutic settings. And so it might be worth checking out for you. Absolutely. Check it out. Do some exploring. Science is showing that it is a huge benefit to lots of different conditions. And the reason is, just like we talked about in the interview. And so, what I want to leave you with, whether or not you decide to explore a red light therapy device like is available with John and the LumaFlex team, if you do, great. Amanda and I have been, and other members of our family have been using it since my interview with John. But what I want to encourage you to do is deepen that connection with the natural world. And again, we're kind of manipulating that with red light therapy, right? But the true natural state of red light therapy, I guess if we call it therapy, is in those sunrises and sunsets. And realize that when you're savoring one, when you're taking some time to soak it in and enjoy it, you actually are. You're actually soaking it in, and it's actually bringing some benefits to us. And my action step for you then, for this week, and we talk about this on the show. We've talked about it before, and this is something that is a huge pillar of health that oftentimes gets overlooked because it's a little bit more, I think, a little bit more subjective, but it's the connection piece. It is so important to have healthy relationships with other people, with the natural world, animals, pets, plants, and of course, fresh air, sky, and sun. We're learning about that here today. So, my action step for you is get a sunset or a sunrise in this week. If you haven't done it, schedule it. Set aside some time. Be in a place where you can see it, where you can savor it. If you're alone, fine. If you can do it with someone you care about, savor that sunset together, you get extra credit. Extra credit, even better. To do that as you deepen your connection with someone else, deepen your connection with nature, and just as we learned, you're going to get some real health benefits as well. I want to thank you so much for listening, for exploring health and fitness with me here on the show. Thank you for helping to keep the Begin Within Health show in the top 10% of all podcasts. I'm excited about that. I talk about that a lot. The reason that it's there is because You listen because you follow the show, because you rate and review the show. It tells the podcast platforms that this is a show that other people should listen to. So they serve it up to others when you listen, when you rate, when you review the show, and when you share it with others. So thank you. Thank you so much. I will talk with you again soon here on the Begin Within Health Show.